cold as a razor blade. Is
back for another episode of the Snake Pit. And of course, I could never do it. I would never want to do it without the man himself, WWE Hall of Famer, master of the DDT, the man who came out there on a fucking cart in front of like 90,000 people at WrestleMania 3. It's Jake the Snake Roberts. What's going on, man?
Living the dream, man.
Man, I'm glad to hear it. And I'm glad to have you here with me today, Jake, because we're looking back 30 years to WrestleMania 3 in the Pontiac Silverdome. And man, there's so much to discuss here. But before we get to the event itself, let's take a look at the build up to the event itself. As we discussed, this rivalry between you and Hogan, it gets scrapped and you get turned babyface. In the meantime, Andre is going to move into the role of monster antagonist against the Hulkster, and they're off to the races there at WrestleMania 3. So, Jake, I'm personally of the opinion, now I'm a Jake Roberts fan, but my opinion is that you were very red hot as a heel going into this period, and you and Hogan would have made for a really successful WrestleMania main event if things had gone differently. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I would.
Now, however, I have heard a lot of people over the years say that having Hogan face down a giant, unstoppable force monster like Andre was what drew the record-setting crowd in the Silverdome. You're certainly more of an expert than I am at this, so I'll ask you objectively, do you think it needed to be Andre in the spot with Hogan?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah?
Yeah, I did.
Why is that, as opposed to a guy like you who could carry the damn match?
Well, it was going to be the biggest thing that ever happened. WrestleMania 2 was in 3 different cities.
Mm-hmm.
Now they're going to throw it all in one spot. And, there was some doubt, would it do it?
Yeah.
But they found out real quick with ticket sales that it was going to be easy.
That is a question that I've got coming up later in the notes, but I'll ask it now since you brought it up. I mean, working in a building that big, what a huge departure from what the successful business model has been so far for Vince McMahon. Taking a really big risk. Were you or a lot of the boys skeptical, like, hey, kind of putting a lot of pressure on us to fill this fucking building for you, pal?
Not really.
No?
Didn't bother me none, man.
You don't, as one of the wrestlers, do you ever feel the pressure of like having to fill the building, or is that the promoter's job?
That's just the will of the people.
Mm.
That's the promoter's shtick to do. And if he hasn't been beating the bushes for it or doing what's needed, then it's on him. We've worked a damn year to get here.
Yeah.
So there we go.
As a babyface now, does it change anything for you from your perspective as far as like, I don't know, it's the biggest WrestleMania ever. It's in this giant building. You just turned babyface. There's like a lot of extenuating circumstances surrounding this right now. At the time, though, are you feeling any pressure? Like, I should really kind of make the most of this moment.
I wanted to make the most of the moment because of, being WrestleMania 3 in front of all the people and hanging out with Alice Cooper.
Yeah.
I mean, in high school, School's Out for Summer was the #1 song the year I graduated.
That's crazy.
And to have him in my corner just blew my mind.
Dude, insane to be in that spot. It's like, I mean, after that, I know you weren't super psyched about turning babyface at this time, but after that, it's got to be like, okay, maybe this gig isn't so bad.
Well, I still didn't want to be a babyface.
Yeah, not outside of your comfort zone, right?
Yeah, really. I just don't like it, man.
You think you can do better work as a heel?
I do more satisfying work.
Ah, that's a good way to put it.
As a heel, you can go out there and you can go down any road you choose. But as a babyface, you got to kind of get your parameters that you got to follow. You can't. I got to kiss babies. I got to pet. What the fuck? Are you serious? And that's just not me.
Not to mention, when you're leaving the arenas, now you have to be nice to the fans.
Yeah.
Jim was telling a great story about you guys ribbing each other, where there's all the fans at these banks of doors. You guys are like, all right, let's go out together. We'll fight through the crowd. We'll make it to the limo. You go out the door and he just shuts and locks it right behind you.
Right. He got me good, man.
That was apparently a rebuttal, though, to you at making him leave early on like his first day of TV.
Yeah, that was a good one there, though.
You guys, it's fun getting to talk to both of you because I get to hear about both sides of the ribs, and oh my gosh, you guys are just great friends, but horrible to each other sometimes. It's incredible.
It's fun.
So you gotta break up the monotony a little bit, right?
Yeah.
Well, Jake, on February 17th, WWF had a special event called International Wrestling Superstars as part of a Wrestling Challenge recording. On the show, you subbed for George the Animal Steel and you defeat Macho Man Randy Savage in a non-title steel cage match. So you came in here to replace George Steele as a late substitution, and we all know that Savage liked to very meticulously plan all of his matches. And on the other side, I know that you are not like that, and you're like, see you in the ring, pal. Do you think under these circumstances you would have given in and talked over the match with Randy to set his mind at ease?
Oh, I did talk over the match with Randy.
Yeah.
But I didn't do anything I said.
That's another great rib.
Yeah.
Is he out there just fucking dog cussing you during the match?
Oh, yeah.
He's gotta be.
Oh, yeah.
So you guys would talk it over ahead of time, and then you just call some different shit once you're in there.
Yep.
Oh my god, that's an amazing rib. I know for me personally, I've gotten very used to calling matches ahead of time. If my opponent started doing that whenever I'm in the ring with him, I would be so out of sorts.
Well, there you go.
I got to get good at calling matches on the fly, Jake, so I don't have to put up with somebody ribbing me like that.
Yep.
So here you are. Yeah, of course, you're replacing George Steele, and you're going to go over against the Intercontinental Champion. Randy's in the middle of getting a good push, too. So, I mean, it does really kind of indicate how much, they liked you as a top babyface in the company here.
Yeah.
On an early episode of the Snake Pit, we talked about the incident with Honkytonk Man with the guitar, so listeners can go revisit that topic in the archives. It's episode 13. So we're not going to beat that up, but for now, I'll ask, being that Hogan, it's scrapped between you and Hogan, and you return babyface. Did you feel like you were going into this thing with Honky with kind of like a chip on your shoulder, something to prove?
Yeah, I did, man. I was in a bad fucking mood.
Mm-hmm.
Not only, turning babyface, but then him clocking me like he did. He fucked me up, man.
I'm sure we discussed it on the episode, but I do want to ask, when he hit you with the guitar, did you know instantly in that moment I'm fucked up, or was that something that came later?
I was hurt. I knew I was hurt.
Fought through it though for a couple years.
Yeah.
In hindsight, if you could go back and do it again, would you go and get the surgery right away, or don't want to miss Mania 3?
Yeah, I would have. I got the surgery right away.
Yeah, probably would have been the way. But again, you would have missed Mania 3, and this is a pretty iconic event.
Yeah.
Hogan, of course, had the top babyface spot locked up at this time, but I'm curious. I know that you are a very confident performer. Were you optimistic that you could climb the ladder and maybe even knock him off the top spot?
I know if I was given the opportunity, I could, but I knew that I wasn't going to get that opportunity.
Okay.
I was in limbo.
So by opportunity, you mean like the good storylines, more main event spots along the way?
Yeah. Just give me a shot at it.
Mm-hmm. As we've discussed, Honkytonk Man started out as a babyface in the WWF and then quickly transitioned into a heel once they started to kind of learn that he was good at getting heat in and out of the ring. What did you think of the Elvis impersonator gimmick as a whole?
Oh, it was good. He did a great job at it.
Hard to poke holes in some of the shit he was doing. It was entertaining.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, guys, let's take a quick time out to talk about our fantastic sponsor, Blue Chew. It is the new year, and it's time for you to have better sex with Blue Chew. And they're putting their money where their mouth is, pal. They're offering you a month for free. The whole process is totally simple. You owe it to yourself to give this a try. You just sign up at BlueChew.com, consult with one of their licensed medical providers, and once you're approved, you'll receive your prescription within days. Blue Chew's tablets are made in the USA and prepared and shipped direct to your door. You can take them anytime, day or night, so you can plan ahead or be ready when the opportunity arises. The best part? It's all done online. That means no more visits to the doctor's office, no more awkward, uncomfortable conversations, and no more waiting in line at the pharmacy. Now, look, people ask me all the time, and it's always the same question: does Blue Chew really work? Well, let me tell you, pal, it's time for you to find out for yourself. People are going to be calling you Eagle Scout with the way that you're going to be pitching tents by the time Blue Chew is done with you. The folks at Blue Chew told me they're not going to stop until every man is bricked up like a brick house. That is their mission. They want to get you rock hard in the new year. You know, I said you owe it to yourself. Not only do you owe it to yourself, you also owe it to your partner. You could be missing out on the best sex of your entire life without even knowing about it. Come on, you got to give this a try. They say there is nothing sexier than confidence, and Blue Chew can help give you confidence where it counts. We can all relate to wanting to feel more confident, right? Especially in the bedroom, and Blue Chew's here for you. It's time, guys. Make life easier by getting harder and discover your options at BlueChew.com. We've got a special deal for our listeners. Try your first month of Blue Chew free. Just visit BlueChew.com and use our code SNAKE at checkout. You'll get your first month free. Just pay $5 shipping. Visit BlueChew.com for more details and important safety information, and we thank Blue Chew for sponsoring the podcast. Mania 3 set for the Silverdome, of course, the largest venue Vince has run up to this point. So, man, he's banking an awful lot on this. And again, it's, I'm sure that a lot of the boys are skeptical as to whether or not he's going to fill it. When you started to see all the numbers start to pour in and see like, holy shit, this is happening. Did you know that moving forward, it was going to start to turn into a big stadium event as opposed to a small arena event?
Yeah, I knew once they broke in that thing, it was going to be full bore ahead.
Mm-hmm.
He'd go for all the big buildings in. And that's what he did.
He did. And man, it's interesting to watch it evolve, because there for a minute in the 90s, it went back to the small arenas because business was struggling. And now, of course, not only is it in these giant football stadiums, they've had to break it up into 2 nights to get everybody in there.
That's ridiculous.
Do you dislike the idea of 2 nights of WrestleMania?
Yes, I do.
I think that they do it in part because it's a cash grab. You know, of course, it's you get people to pay twice to come to these stadiums, but also they've just got so much damn talent on the roster. It's impossible to feature them all without having like an 8-hour show.
Yeah.
Do you think the solution here is we trim down the roster a little bit?
Well, they can't do that because they got to have the talent to run all the shows they're doing.
Yeah.
You know, what are they running? 3 shows a week now?
Yeah, they're keeping busy, all right.
And how many hours of TV is that?
Oh gosh, per week it's got to amount to somewhere close to 8 hours.
Yeah. So you got to have the talent, but I still don't think you need to break it into 2 days.
You think one very, very long day of wrestling would be better?
I think you go with a 4-hour show and let it go.
Get people on the card as much as you can, and then sorry if you don't make the cut, right?
That's right.
You are very heavily featured on the way to Mania, and I think the argument could be made that your match was the second most anticipated match of the event. Not only was there a lot of heat on it after the whole guitar thing, but of course you're also being heavily featured with Alice Cooper. And man, you and Cooper appeared together for several TV segments as the WWF marched toward Pontiac. Jake, we've been doing this podcast for nearly 2.5 years, and I have intentionally waited until we did this episode to even bring up Alice Cooper, because I really wanted to kind of hit a home run with this thing. The time is here. What can you tell us about how he got involved with the WWF in '87?
Well, I have no idea how he did it, man. I guess they called him and he said yes.
Easy enough.
They gave him a figure that he couldn't refuse. But I remember the first photo shoot I had to do with him. They sent us downtown to the Mayflower Hotel, and I was like a little high school girl, man. I couldn't even sit down. I was so excited, to meet him. And they take us into a room, and he's not there. They said he'll be right here. Just a minute. So I'm pacing back and forth across the room, and when he does come in, I go, Alice, and like some fucking little high school girl, man, that just peed herself. I ran across the room to him, and he grabbed me, and we hugged and shit and shook hands, and it was pretty wild, man.
Is he like, again, I think a lot of people see Jake Roberts standing beside Hulk Hogan or Earthquake, and they think like, Jake's like a medium-sized guy. Nope, Jake is huge. I've been around him in person. How is Alice Cooper reacting to this, 6'5" guy being so damn enthusiastic?
Well, I tossed him around like a rag doll.
I'll bet.
And we got the snake out, and he could barely hold the snake.
Probably weighed more than him.
It was close. It was close.
Yeah, folks, he probably weighs what, 120 pounds?
Yeah, 140 maybe.
Somewhere in there. Not a big man, but I mean, gosh, what a massive star he is. You said it, during your high school year, School's Out for Summer is a big hit, and
Yeah.
like he's still a big star here in 1987. How did you find out? Like, do you remember who approached you? Like, hey, guess what? You're going to be working with Alice Cooper.
I've thought about it, and I can't remember who it was. I really can't.
Feels like something maybe Vince himself might handle, right?
I don't think it was.
Oh, okay.
I can't remember.
Well, either way, I know that you were pumped up about it, and you guys did several like vignettes on the way to this thing. We're gonna watch one of them here in a second, but when you're filming this stuff with Alice Cooper, you're one of your rock star heroes. What was it like? Were you guys like hitting it off right away?
Yeah, we did. We hit it off right away, man. He knew what he was there for, and he took that spot. He knew he was second banana.
Mm.
I was the ticket, and he was the dressing.
So he's got a good like business mind on his shoulders.
Yeah, he's smart.
Was he a wrestling fan at all, or was this just a business thing for him?
Yeah, I think he enjoyed the shit out of it.
No shit.
Oh yeah.
Well, let's watch one of these vignettes. I really had a blast going through some of the footage and finding the right one, but I believe that this is the first one that you and he did together.
Recently, in front of an international television audience, the Honkytonk Man viciously attacked and struck Jake the Snake Roberts with a guitar. As a result, these two men will meet in WrestleMania 3. Jimmy Hart in the Honky-Tonk's corner, and bizarre rock star Alice Cooper will be in Roberts' corner.
You took a shot. You took your best shot, my man. But you see, I haven't even started firing yet. And I'm going to fire, even though I am a patient man. I mean, if you believe I'm patient, you ought to ask some of the people I've been out with. But then again now, I don't hang around with just everyday people. You see, the man beside me is a little bit different himself. And it's good to be different. Don't you think so, Mama?
I think it's good to be as cold as this little guy right here.
Because when you're cold, you got to understand what life's about. You got to understand the truth. And the truth is life's not easy now, is it?
Man, that's right, man. We're road rats, and we've been out here for a long time. We've seen your kind before, and we think we eat you.
So what we're saying is this. Jimmy Hart, behave yourself, because if you don't, Alice, what's going to happen?
Jimmy Hart means about as much to music as I do the Bolshoi Ballet. We're the originals in this corner. We don't have to do imitations of the greats. We are the greats.
Well, that was pretty good shit, wasn't it, Jake?
Yeah.
38 years later, watching it back, does it bring back any memory? Was that the hotel that you met him at that first day?
Yeah.
Alice Cooper is, I mean, he's a rock star. He's used to going out partying, having some fun. I know that you at the time were certainly having a good time outside the ring. Did you go hang out with him afterwards?
No, he'd sobered up.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he was clean.
No shit. Okay, so like it wasn't a party scene with Alice.
No. In fact, he talked to me about getting clean, you know,
Wow.
and I laughed it off.
At that time, you weren't thinking all that much of it, right?
No, man.
Do you remember if this whole thing was improvised between the two of you, or were you given some sort of a format for it?
Oh, he just let me fly.
He did a pretty damn good job kind of perpetuating the story there, didn't he?
Yeah.
Both of you did.
It was easy.
Off screen, did you and Alice become friends?
Yeah.
Are you still friends like to this day?
Yep.
Now you had mentioned, I believe it was last week or the week before that it was like you and Boss Man and his wife and Cheryl all went to see Alice Cooper at one point on his tour bus. So, you guys wound up remaining in contact.
Yeah. Every time he was around, I'd hit him up and go to him, you know, see his show.
How about that?
Yeah. I've been to probably 6 or 7 shows over the years.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Now, are you catching up with him backstage afterwards?
Yeah.
So you go from being a fan, he's got the hit song of your, high school senior year, and now you guys are like chilling backstage at his shows.
Yeah. It's pretty wild, man.
Absolutely incredible. Well, let's talk about WrestleMania 3 a little bit. It took place, of course, at the Pontiac Silverdome, Pontiac, Michigan, March 29th, 87. Over the last 38 years, people have made a lot about the attendance for this event. Now, WWF announced that the attendance was over 93,000 people. Most recently, it's been accepted that there were actually 78,000 fans in the building. Jake, do you think those actual attendance numbers make any difference?
They look full to me.
It was damn sure full. There was a damn sea of fans in that place.
Yeah.
Was the driving force behind this record attendance? So I'm going to ask this question, but let me preface it. I just spoke to Jim Duggan, and he had said that, a lot of times with WrestleMania, it's Barnum and Bailey comes to town. You're not thinking, I can't wait to see the fucking clown. It's, I can't wait to see Barnum and Bailey. Do you think that they were more interested in coming to see Hulk versus Andre, or was it the spectacle of WrestleMania that drew the people at this time?
It was a spectacle.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely. There was a lot to see on that card, but it was the whole spectacle. Going for the record in attendance, they made a big deal out of that. Yeah, they served it up right. Detroit was the best place to do it.
Fuck yeah, dude! That building and jamming all of those people in there, like we're about to watch your entrance, and good lord, it's if you guys haven't seen Jake Roberts' entrance coming in on that cart, they do a big pan out to show everything, and holy shit, it's overwhelming looking at it. Before we do watch that, I do want to ask, Vince pulled out all the stops here for this one. Alice Cooper, of course, Bob Uecker, Mary Hart from Entertainment Tonight, and you've even got Aretha Franklin there to sing America the Beautiful. We know you got plenty of time around Alice, but did you see or spend any time around any of the other celebrities, or was it such a fucking busy event that you didn't even get a chance?
Bob Uecker.
Okay.
Yeah, he's a hoot. He was a hoot, man.
Recently passed, unfortunately.
Sure did.
Yeah, hell of a personality, wasn't he?
Oh, he was a barrel of laughs, man.
He seemed like another guy who really got the business, right?
Oh, he got it. They a lot like wrestling.
I mean, kind of is like guys on the road sort of acting like maniacs. It's its own little culture. Yeah. Do you like the idea of having non-wrestlers involved in this most important show of the year? Or do you feel like they're unnecessary?
I think it's a good thing. For whatever reason, it helps the show. Makes it more mainstream.
I guess, if you're kind of like a on the fence sort of a wrestling fan and you hear like, oh, but my favorite TV star is going to be there, maybe it'll change your mind.
Absolutely.
Savage and Steamboat go out before you guys and have a match that a lot of people still consider one of the greatest technical matches ever at WrestleMania. Man, just two great performers going out there doing what they do. But it makes me curious. We always hear wrestlers say, and it's a pretty famous phrase in wrestling, follow that, or good luck following that.
Yeah.
When a great match goes on early. Did you feel that kind of pressure after they have this fucking barn burner right before you go out there?
Well, I knew it was a barn burner. I knew that we had a lot to follow, but I also knew how to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And the way you do it is you slow it back down.
Okay.
You know, the fans are going to punish you for 3 or 4 minutes while you slow it down. But once you slow it down and get them set back down in their seats, they'll be ready to jump up again.
That's a really smart perspective on it. Do you remember when you learned that trick, Jake?
Oh, God, early on, man.
Is it something you figured out for yourself, or did somebody smarten you up?
You know, I'm not sure. I think that may have been given to me.
Okay. Well, look, it's any young wrestler who's listening to this podcast, take that one to heart, because it's smart. You know, bring them back down and let them kind of start to work themselves back up, right?
You gotta cool them off and let them settle back down in their seats, man, before you can make them jump up again.
Mm-hmm.
So take time. It'll happen.
And shit, man, coming out there with a rock star isn't gonna hurt either, right?
Nope.
Well, let's get to the big moment and your entrance for the match. This is a clip that only goes about 30 seconds, but man, to me, it really kind of paints the picture of the scale of this event. Let's have a look.
This contest is scheduled for one fall. Coming towards the ring and accompanied by Alice Cooper from Stone Mountain, Georgia, weighing 249 pounds. Jake the Snake Roberts.
Jake the Snake Roberts with Damian and Alice Cooper. And boy, has this guy got a score to settle.
Whoa. Just like looking at that, it's again, it's kind of overwhelming to even look at when they do the zoom out and they show the whole crowd. What do you remember about going out there in front of a sea of fans like that?
Man, my fucking skin was just tingling all over. It felt like my hair was growing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it was really wild. Plus, Cooper on the way to the ring, he starts to pass out.
Really?
Yeah, he's scratching my arm as he slides down my arm. And I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? He's like, too much rush. Too much. And I talked to him afterwards, and he told me, he says, it's different whenever I'm on stage and I've got control of the whole thing and I know what to do and where to go and everything. He said, but fuck, I'm out there, I don't know what the fuck to do or nothing. He said, I've never been in front of that many people.
Wow.
And he said, man, I just lost it.
When you can make a fucking rock star uncomfortable with the amount of people that are cheering, that's really, really saying something.
Yeah.
I never thought of that perspective, though. Like, he commands it. He comes out on stage, grabs the mic, and he's in charge. Here, he's just kind of along for the ride.
Yeah, he's just got to stand there like a stick man,
Jake, the ring cards here are a pretty nice touch. Usually your entrance is it's a spectacle in and of itself. You've got the bag you've slung over your shoulder and you're kind of stalking down to the ring. So it's really kind of something to see. They've eliminated that from you here. Did you like it or no?
No.
Didn't like the ring carts.
Did not like the ring cart.
Now, practically, it's probably just because it's probably like a fucking quarter-mile walk for you to get to the ring.
Yeah.
Would you rather have just made the damn walk?
I'd rather made the walk, yeah.
I'd be blown up fucking halfway to the ring. All right, we're almost done. I just want to ask you about the match and we're out of here. You and Honky go right at 7 minutes before he wins the match with a roll-up when Jimmy Hart grabbed your leg during an attempted DDT. And after the match, you tried to attack Honky with his own guitar, but you'll smash it on the ring post. Mm-hmm. You and Alice Cooper use Damien to torture Jimmy Hart, much to the delight of the crowd, until Honkytonk Man makes a save. Jake, a while ago, I spoke to Jimmy Hart about this spot with the snake, and if I remember right, he said there's a little story behind it. Could you enlighten us?
Yeah, he was kicking me in the shins, man. And the reason is I had him in a full Nelson. And I was cutting off his air. He couldn't breathe. He was about to go out. So he started kicking me in my shins to make me let go.
Did you let go?
Fuck yeah, he's killing me.
In his sharp little dress shoes.
Hell yeah, man.
Was Jimmy legit afraid of the snake too?
Oh, God, yeah.
Boy, you were really fucking putting him through it there, weren't you?
Oh, yeah.
Well, last question. We're wrapping this one up. A lot of people view this event as a passing of the torch from Andre to Hulk, as the biggest star in wrestling, the new locker room leader, all that sort of shit. And they call this the biggest WrestleMania of all time, and the moment that kicked off the most profitable period of wrestling in the golden years. Would you agree with that sentiment that this is the biggest WrestleMania of all time in that regard?
Absolutely. Absolutely. This is the one that set the sights for things to come.
It does really make me wonder if this event doesn't happen, if we see WrestleMania the way that we see it today, these big arena shows and all these big moments, a lot of the celebrity involvement. This was kind of the first big one, and really cool that you were a part of it, man.
Yeah, I enjoyed the shit out of it, man.
I enjoyed the shit out of this episode. We're not done talking about 1987. We'll continue the story, but as always, brother, really appreciate your time today.
Yeah, thank you, bro. Talk to you later.
Okay, guys, that is going to do it for this week. Just want to give you a reminder that if you're looking to attract that 25 to 54-year-old male demographic to your product or service, you've got to get over to advertisewithsnake.com. Jake, still a household name, still out there doing meet and greets, meeting fans, talking to people, going to different cities, and you can get him to put over your stuff to the exact audience that you're targeting. If you need some evidence that it works, just listen to the show. We are routinely advertising for the same businesses because they know that what we do here on the Snake Pit works. Head over to advertisewithsnake.com and make Jake the Snake Roberts your tag team partner. Get over to cameo.com/Jake Snake for a personal message from the Hall of Famer himself. Here's a recent 5-star review from Eddie. Jake does a mean roast. Thank you. It was awesome. Guys, if you're lifelong fans of Jake the Snake Roberts, you've got to at least get over there and get a look at these reviews on Cameo. It's cameo.com/Jake Snake. It's the perfect gift. It's the perfect thing to treat yourself with. Go and order yours right now. Check us out on YouTube. It's youtube.com/@SnakePitPod. We got short clips from the show, some highlights, some exclusive content. Do yourself a favor. Do us a favor. It's a really great way to support our show. Get over there, like, subscribe, hit that notifications bell. It'll hook us up big time. And speaking of hooking us up big time, if you've enjoyed the podcast, please do us a favor and like, subscribe, and leave us a 5-star review on your podcast app. That's a big one for Jake and I because that attracts new advertisers. Catch Jake on X at Jake Snake DDT, on Instagram at Jake the Snake DDT, and on Facebook at Real Jake the Snake. You can follow me at Marcus P. D'Angelo on X. And if you have any future questions for the show, go ahead and drop them right there, pal, right in my DMs. I love hearing from you guys, whether it's good or bad, whether you've just got a question or you just want to say hi. Hit me up in those DMs. Again, it's Marcus P. D'Angelo on X.